main purpose of the evening, which is the meeting of Thetford Town Council, starting with item 924. Are there any declarations of disclosure of pecuniary interest, please? There aren't. Thank you very much. And at 925, are there any apologies for absence, please?
Councillor O'Brien, Councillor Canham and Councillor Hollis.
Thank you very much. Can we now look at the minutes of the last meeting, please? This is the full council held on the 29th of March. And the expectation is that you're aiming to agree that these are a true record. So can I take you through? I can't say first page because if you're relying on the screen, it's probably not.
No, we've done it a bit differently because nobody can read what's on the screen. So hopefully it's going to be a joy to the chairs when they find that I've put all their decisions up on the screen. So if they haven't got their stuff in front of them, they can read it off the screen.
Well, join the club because I've never been able to read it off the screen because it's always behind me. So I'm going to take it much more simply then in view of the time. Are there any objections, colleagues, to anything that appears in the draft minutes? Okay, there aren't. So can I invite you to agree then that you accept that these are a true record and can be signed as such?
Agreed.
Thank you very much indeed. So on to the next item, which is 927. This is looking at the committee minutes.
It's moved.
So starting with the Amenities Committee, Councillor Jeremy, I guess.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to present the minutes from amenities held on Wednesday, the 6th of April. It's no recommendations this month. It's all resolved business. Thank you.
I'm very disappointed you didn't look at my slide, Mr. Jeremy.
Thank you very much. Accepted, everybody?
Agreed.
Thank you very much indeed. So on to Heritage and Town events, please.
Mr. Mayor, I present the meeting of the Heritage Town events for the 7th of April. And again, it was all resolved business. And we did have a further meeting, which Councillor James will present at that time. Move the minutes.
Thank you. Happy to accept that, colleagues?
Agreed.
In which case, can we move to venues and communications, please?
We present the venues communications meeting for the 13th of April. Again, this was all resolved business. And so I move the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Agreeable, colleagues?
Agreed.
Thank you. Also on to the allotment committee. Are you going to do this one, Councillor Crawford?
I am. Oh, yes. Yes. I'd like to move the minutes of the allotment committee for the 7th of April. And there seems to be no decisions as a result. Okay.
Thank you very much indeed. Again, colleagues, are you happy to take that? Thank you very much. And finally, Heritage and Town events. And we're going to have a change of reporting, I think.
It's a below the line item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the minutes of the Thursday, the 21st of April, to Heritage and Town events meeting, there is only one item of business, and that was resolved below the line.
Thank you very much. On to Mayor's report and remarks. I'm not sure if I've got a copy of this, to be perfectly honest. I'll have to wade through various bits of paper to find it.
You should have. I have it on my screen anyway.
I've now got to it. So,
all right.
I think it's fair to say that whether that's accurate or not, I may have to change it slightly if it's not quite accurate, but it gives a flavour of what's happened. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because we are behind ourselves. So the mayor is continuing to do whatever is possible and has also continuing to visit a number of visitors in Thetford so that they can have an opportunity to have some publicity and indeed also to spend time engaging with members of the public so far as possible in the town centre. Councillor Crawford.
Yes. Sorry, just can you give me any information on the 24th, the massacre? Do you know? I don't know anything about that one.
No, I'll explain that. In 1940, a group of more than 100 British soldiers surrendered to some Germans, and 97 of them were killed, 99 of them were shot, but 2 survived, and others were killed for whom there is no record. So the numbers dying must have been over 100. After the war, a senior SS officer was brought to book for what he'd done. There's been a great effort by a group of the children of survivors and the children of those who did not survive to have some commemoration. There is now a stone, plaque's the wrong word, it's as high as this table on its end. There is a commemorative stone in the grounds of Norwich Cathedral, and this service was to commemorate the loss of these servicemen. It may become a regular annual event. I think those who organise it would like it to, but that was the first time. It's a long time ago, 1940, to be coming to the first, but that's what it is. And that's why it's not well known. Le Paradis, an astonishing, inappropriate name, is the name of the farm where the massacre took place.
Thank you, Chair.
So I'm going to suggest that we leave item 928 and looking at 929. Town council representatives on other bodies. Can I just, perhaps again, just in the effort to try and speed it up a bit, a show of hands of those who would like to speak, please, on this item. Okay, you'll get another chance to show your hand, but Stuart Wright was first. So would you like to say something, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended the meeting of Great Thetford Partnership. I know a couple of colleagues here were here today. This was as representative of the Town Council. The matters discussed included the capacity of the doctors in the town, the station bridge. They put forward a bid for the next round of funding to a disabled access or lift and accessible bridge over the bridge. And then there was further talk of a later bid to make the station fit for the 21st century, to bring in car parking, remodel the entrance hall on the north side. Obviously, this would entail loss of allotment land, and it was mentioned today, have we ever discussed the loss of allotment land as part of that? Now, I'm just putting this out there that we do need to have this conversation and decide whether we are willing to forego some of our allotment land to enable that to happen. So just putting everybody aware that these discussions have been taking place, and we will need as a council to discuss this further in the future. There is also an update on future Breckland, which some of you may have been involved with the various workshops and the evolving themes that they are going to bring forward there to try promote the town and develop things such as the rivers corridor, connectivity, cycle paths and things like that. And then there was an update on the electricity for the sustainable urban development, which we understand, I think last time we met, the clerk informed us that it's no longer being carried out in the way that we thought it would be, with a community payback. Pigeon are now taking on the planning and organising that the electricity goes through the town. It's unlikely this is going to start until next year. So anybody concerned about the closure of the main bridges, it's not going to be imminent. If you remember, we recollect they were going to be closed for probably about 10 weeks. So that's on the horizon, but it's not going to happen this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Other colleagues who represent us on other bodies, please. I'm kind of pausing because it's unusual for anyone to speak, but so that's fine. Thank you very much indeed. So that completes 929. Move on to item 930, reports from county and district councillors. Are there county and district councillors who wish to give a report, please? Can I start with the mayor-elect, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So just really wanted to update you following the Breckland Council meeting on the 7th of April. We were updated in the efforts to support the Ukrainian refugees as district councils are responsible for the housing provision. There is a fantastic page on the Breckland website that collates all the relevant information for residents wanting to support hosting our guests in relation to that. And there's some really good signposting on there. So if you do get any queries from residents, that would be my first port of call. In direct response to questions raised by councillors in this room, I asked the Cabinet Member for Finance, Revenue and Benefits for an update on the council tax rebate scheme. There was discussion regarding the fact that it's not really a rebate scheme, it's a payment, but that's semantics. The £150 rebate would be issued to all appropriate customers who paid by direct debit in April. And I note there have been further updates and information provided on social media literally in the last couple of days as of tomorrow. Thank you, beautifully mined.
Thank you.
The rebate becomes more complex for those relevant customers who don't pay via this method, and they will hopefully receive payments in May once obviously the Anglia Revenues Partnership team have undertaken all the appropriate checks, gathered the full information and made sure it's accurate in order to make those repayments. Thank you.
Do you want to ask Councillor James a question about that?
Just because I'm getting badgered by a few of my residents, for the ones who are already on the housing list and waiting and don't know when they can get on it, can I inform them that these Ukrainian people are going to knock them further down the housing process and they'll have to wait longer? Can you just give me an answer on that, please?
My understanding is everybody's needs will be assessed, and those who are in more urgent need will be prioritised, as is the existing system.
Right, so that means the people who are badgering me will go further down the list. I take it from that answer. Thank you.
You can assume what you like, Councillor Taylor. I think I made a clear statement.
I think it is an assumption also, because the evidence across the country is that in fact very few Ukrainians have been given the help that you've referred to. So in fact the numbers are probably counted on the fingers of one hand in Thetford. Yes, Mark.
If you click on that, because some of my residents are aware of what's going on, and they said, if this comes up the meeting, can you please say something about the forgotten people in the town who can't get on a house, can't do anything? And I said I would. So keep talking about Ukraine, and I'll keep talking about the people who've been forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Other reports from county or district councils, please? Yes, please, Councillor Jeremy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. Just a bit of a plug, really, because I had a visit to the library recently in Thetford, which, if you haven't been, they offer so many more services now than just renting out library books, which I can remember growing up, going to the library and doing. They do all sorts of things now. One of the things which was new to me, and it may not be new to anybody else, but I wanted to share it anyway, is books on wheels. So if you can no longer get into the local library due to mobility issues, ill health or caring for somebody, they bring the library to you with monthly deliveries, which I thought was a really useful service actually, and they haven't had a huge take up in Thetford, but it's definitely worth promoting if you know of anybody that will particularly benefit from that. The other thing is something called Meet Up Mondays, which is about sort of tackling loneliness and mental health, and they use the hashtag Don't Be On Your Own. That takes place in the Engine Room Cafe at Charles Burrell on a Monday from 12 till 1:30. And it's been growing quite a bit over the last few weeks. It's really interesting post-COVID, people coming back out wanting to engage. So again, I popped that in my email report. The 1 month, of course, I do get round to sending a digital report that Brenda's not here for me to highlight that I've done a digital report, but at least she was able to read it at home. Those of you that were at the annual town meeting last week will have heard this from me, but just a bit of a plug about street furniture. I've been reporting through to the town council's town team about fire damaged or graffitied street furniture in Thetford. Obviously, we're coming up to the summer months, and we do get a lot of visitors and tourists. If you spot anything that is damaged, as I did on Barnum Common, spotted some damaged litter bins, do report it through to the team. They are very quick at replacing and refurbishing the equipment, and obviously we want things to look as good as they can possibly be. And on that theme, you're probably wondering why I've included a photo in the report of two concrete stumps, probably the best word to describe them. On the St John's Way area of Redcastle, in every block when the estate was built, there was a bench, two concrete posts and a wooden top. And over the years, they've not been maintained. And so in most cases, the wood has either disappeared or rotted away, and you're left with these two concrete stumps. And I really wasn't sure whether the best solution was to take these bits of concrete away or to refurbish them. So I've been asking residents, and I've spoke to about 20, 30 people so far. And bizarrely, because this never happens when you do a consultation, every single person said they wanted to see the benches refurbished and new wood put on. They actually really welcome a space in the community for people to sit and chat. So one of my jobs this morning was to photograph every bench, because I have no life, and send it through to Breckland. And I'm really hoping that I'll work with Breckland colleagues to put some emphasis on this, is to refurbish these benches on St John's Way, because actually I think it's about time we started investing in some of these estates. Some of us do also talk about the forgotten areas on a regular basis, but benches is definitely a passion of mine at the moment. And the last thing I'll just mention is free school meals. If any of you have seen the press, Norfolk County Council sadly were the only council in the Eastern region not to provide free school meal support for the Easter school holidays just gone. There is other support in place through what they call the Norfolk Assistance Scheme, and they have been sort of fast-tracking support from with the sort of assurance from county councillors. So if you know of particular families and you can essentially vouch for them, they will fast track the support, because frankly the team at Norfolk can't process the applications quick enough at the moment. And so, you know, if you do know anybody that is particularly struggling, one particular family I put through last week, they received £90 within 24 hours, which was the equivalent of the free school meal support they would have got. So, you know, do let us know and we can put that through. Rather than going to the county council meeting that day, I actually visited the community centre on Abbey and spoke to them about the community fridge and the citizens' advice and the support that they might need there to help more people, frankly, because they're being inundated. One of the citizens' advice, which is why I'm so pleased, Mr. Mayor, that it's one of your charities this year, but also the Abbey generally with the community fridge. So I'm sort of, you know, keen to talk to councillors about how we can continue to support the Abbey and other places in Thetford, because obviously the cost of living crisis is very real. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other? Oh, sorry, you were going to ask him a question.
No,
Yes,
Councillor Terry, question. Terry, on the benches on
you still have to stand up though, in fact, to be Towson.
Thank you. On the benches on St John's Way, as they're in an area that flagship housing has a big interest in, is there a chance that we could ask them to give us some assistance with them? I think.
Possibly, and you know, obviously I'm in quite a lot of contact with Flagship generally, because obviously they also own all of the garage blocks on Redcastle and elsewhere. My view would be that most of the land on Abbey, certainly the green spaces and on St John's and the pedestrian areas are all Breckland. And frankly, you know, if I were Flagship, I would say, well, actually, Breckland needs to be refurbishing them. So I'm certainly starting with Breckland. And let's face it, it's been a long while since they've invested in some of these areas. So, but I'll let you know.
Thank you very much.
I've got a question for Councillor Jeremy. No, you're coming up as a councillor. Yes, please.
Regarding the rebate, it's not a rebate. The link that Breckland put on Facebook didn't work. I had a major complaint from some residents. They couldn't get any information, so we had to go to something else. And on another term, I'm getting inundated from residents complaining about Serco and the lack of assisted bins. They're not being emptied. The bulk collection is not good. But I'm back at Serco again on Thursday morning, so I reiterate but if anyone's got any things they want me to take regarding assisted bin collection, it's bulk.
Take a free piece.
Free what? And so I could take some more because we've got a double meeting from 9 till 1 on Thursday, and I want to have a list of stuff, but I would like some more to give them.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I'm here. You probably should have done it.
Any more districts of the county? Yes, please.
Following on from what Terry was saying earlier, I've been looking into some residents from St Albans Way, number 41 to 47, who've had a lot of complaints about Serco as well. In front of their area, I think they'd chopped down the shrubs were there, but just left a big bald piece of land, basically. And then someone else has cut the grass and dumped a hole up near the railway line, but it's this side rather than Network Rail's responsibility. So I have contacted them about that. But also the alley behind those houses, where it's sort of an alley or a lane between 41 and 47, has got accumulated rubbish there, which must have been there for years. I mean, there's old fridges, prams, pushchairs, clothes, you name it. And that, as I understand it, that sort of alleyway is supposed to be like a fire escape for, you know, a back entrance for the hazard to get out time to fire. So that really is, it really is quite bad. And you can't see it from the road. So I suppose unless you walked along there, you wouldn't actually notice it. So that is all under investigation at the moment. And also I'd just like to mention, not in my role as Breckland councillor, but I did attend the meeting on the Inspire Woodworks inauguration visit, and it's amazing what they're producing there, all their beautiful wood products they're making. It was really quite inspiring. So, you know, thank you for listening to know about that. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Robinson, please.
Just very briefly, it's around the 29th that the council tax rebate is issued, so it could be either side of that. And when Chris mentioned the link not working, seeing IT's in my portfolio, I had a mild panic. It's not actually on the Breckland website, the link's not working, it's on the Anglia Revenues Partnership. But I've already pinged a little note out and that'll be addressed. So,
thank you for your elucidation. I think that exhausts the possibilities, since I'm saying nothing. So I think we can move on to 931. Responses from county and district councillors to written questions from Thetford town councillors. Have we received any such that anyone's aware of?
No questions have been received.
Thank you very much indeed. And 932, health and safety consultant tender. To receive and approve the appointment to a new H&S consultant for the next 3 years selected from the council's tender process. We need to agree a decision, and I'm going to invite the town clerk to comment.
So as it says on the slide, this originally was going to go to personnel, but because personnel was in court, unfortunately, I've put it to full council because it would normally have been resolved within personnel, but obviously we want to get back and tell the people who applied for the tender what the result is. So the council received 7 tenders for the health and safety consultant advert to cover the next 3 years of consultancy. The contract was advertised via the government contractors finders website and had 357 views of the contract. One tender was discarded as it didn't include the financial quotes, and the appointment was based on an evaluation of quality and price utilising a quality price ratio of 60 to 40. So 60 for quality, 40 for price. So that's the 6 tenders that we accepted. So you've got the quality score runs along the top, and to be honest, you know, the top 3, there wasn't too much between them. And the price score, again, it was fairly close, but the recommendation on the numbers would be company D.
Comments, please, colleagues. Are we happy to accept the recommendation for company D?
Yes. Could I have, you know?
Do you want to?
Yes, please.
Could we have a proposer then, please? We have a proposer and we have a seconder. I think we've got a seconder, but thank you. I think we had 1, 2. You'll find out. So those in favour of the proposal? Those against? Thank you very much. Anyone abstaining? Yes. It is carried. So on to 933, community engagement. To discuss and agree any consultation or media release required, to approve a media release if required. The leader here is said to be the mayor. I'm not aware of anything that I think should be publicised. I think one or two things should not be publicised. But that's by the way. Unless colleagues want to suggest otherwise, I'm going to suggest that we're not specifically looking for any publicity as a result of anything that's been said today so far. Is that correct? It looks as if it's more or less correct. Okay, thank you very much indeed. 934, committee officers update. Is there a committee officer update, please?
No, I haven't received anything else to come to full council since the agenda was issued.
Right, thank you very much indeed. 935, exclusion of press and public, to consider resolving that pursuant to the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960, the press and public be excluded for any remaining items of business on the grounds that publicity would be prejudicial to the public interest by reason of the confidential nature of the business to be discussed. So we have to ask Tom to turn off the